Well, I spent the last hour of my morning scrubbing down the cage. I think it's time to throw first layers of paint on it. Went and picked up some paint and primer this morning, so gonna primer up. And luckily the sun actually came out. It was looking like it was gonna be kind of a gloomy day again. It was barely 60 degrees, but within the last hour the temperature has risen really nicely, so I think it's time to start laying down some paint. She's all ready to go, so just gonna jump right into it. Well, 2 nice thick coats later, look at this thing. That is awesome. That looks so freaking good. So I'm gonna have to wire wheel down around the edges so that we can get it welded in, but either way, oh, this thing is just amazing. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to get this in the car for the final time. I've decided before I start messing with putting this in the car, I'm going to start painting a bunch of the inside of the car. I'm going to get the whole firewall painted, paint a bunch of up here and around here, and try and get some of the floor done. At least start painting over the welds. I want to get the underside trans tunnel painted, and just like I said, I want to get all my welds primered over. That way they stop getting this surface rust in them. So I think that's going to be my next project. This half cage is all done. We can actually start finishing this chassis now. So let's start getting it ready for some paint. Okay, got a big pile of dirt. Underside of the car is cleaned out for the first time in a few months. Even got the car pretty cleaned out. You got a wire wheel over all the seams. Then I also gotta go pick up the new filter for my vacuum because that thing is destroyed. So I'm going to get the underside wire wheeled and primered and then run to town so I can grab some seam sealer and a vacuum filter. Then we can start tackling the inside, primer a bunch of stuff on the inside, go through and start seam sealing everything, and then we can actually start playing around painting it. Seems simple when you say it, but it's going to take a while, so I better get to it. Hours of wire wheeling later and more seam sealer that I sure thought I was done with, but man, we are all cleaned up and ready to hit these areas with some primer. Whew, that really sucked. I don't know how dirty I actually look, but man, I've blown myself off a couple of times, but oh my god. Seam sealer sucks. And just the undercoating that's under this thing, but got all the areas that I'm going to take care of for now, basically from the rear floor pan forward. There's still stuff that needs to be done to the back half of the car, which can be done later on yet, but I just want to get all these spots that I have stitch welded all sealed up. So I'm going to prime them. I'm going to run to the parts store and grab some seam sealer. That way when I get back I can seam seal everything. And yeah, maybe make it to the inside tonight, but it's already 3 o'clock, so I doubt I'm going to be touching the inside. But oh well, good progress either way, so just going to get right to it. Made it back from my parts store run, got my seam sealer, and this all turned out really good. Very awesome. Time to lay under here and do some seam sealing for the next hour or so, and hopefully it won't take an hour. It should probably be pretty quick, but heck yeah, I'm just going to get this knocked out. This is awesome. I'm going to leave. I'm not seam sealing any of the firewall. I want all my stitch welds to be visible because to me it's kind of just a cool flex to see a stitch welded chassis. So we're not gonna seam seal the firewall. We're gonna leave that, but everything from basically this point here back is all getting seam sealed. And then I'm gonna have to clean out the inside of the car. I forgot to get a filter for my vacuum, but once I get that, I'll get the whole inside of the car vacuumed out, primer the whole firewall, the floor, the whole back half, hide all this green, and then we can seam seal the whole inside here as well. Well, I already used that entire can or tube of seam sealer, but got it down along the firewall, both sides there, along the sides. Try and get a good angle down through here. Every seam that I welded underneath is now seam sealed. Yeah. Oh. And I still got more to go. I'm just going to pick up another tube after work tomorrow. Half cage is completely done, ready to be welded in the car. Underside of the car is finally primered and seam sealed. I got to seam sealer my inner fenders in the front and a little bit along the bottom frame rail on that side. There's going to still be more to seam sealer underneath. There's going to be more to seam sealer inside. I'm going to seam sealer underneath the whole firewall inside. Basically everywhere where I took seam sealer out, I was going to get seam sealer put back in it. So, yeah. It's so weird seeing this without the cage now. I can't wait to get it back in here. But overall, this is looking awesome. Huge progress this weekend. So hopefully in a couple weeks this thing's going to be a roller again. Crossing my fingers because I need to get this out of this garage and into storage for the winter. That way this winter I can go through the motor, go through the wiring, and get everything ready. That way right away this spring I can take this car back out of the garage and everything can just go in it and we can get to ripping. So that's my plan. I want this chassis done and ready to go for next spring, because that's the majority of the hard work for me. Doing the actual swap and everything I've done already, and I understand enough that I think that'll go pretty good. It's going to be a little bit different than how I did the white car, obviously rear wheel drive and doing a few more performance mods. So we will see when we get there, but this thing is moving right along. It's nice to finally make a big amount of progress on it. Well, I've been really meaning to film a lot more of this. I've been busting my butt trying to get this done really quickly just because of it's getting to be late in the year, and I just don't know how many nice days we're going to have left. But the whole inside of the green car has now been primered, re-seam sealed. I went a little above and beyond with the seam sealer on the inside, but I was just trying to use up the tube that I had, so that's all done. Wheel wells are all done. Strut towers and underside of the car are also all done. Couldn't be any happier with how this is looking. So I'm on my lunch break here again today. Time to spray this thing white, at least the inside of it. It's all I care about, getting the inside sprayed. So gonna get going here, set up the time lapse. The underside of this car is gonna get bed linered, so we will be doing that at another date. But today, if I can get the inside of this thing sprayed white on my lunch, I'm gonna be very, very happy. Well, the inside of the car is officially white. Everywhere else will be hidden by body panels, so won't have to worry about it. And I'll have a carpet in here anyway, but just because of having the floor all wire wheeled and all that, looks absolutely amazing. Kind of messed up in a few spots. I figured out that's where I was standing. I took my shoes off. I was standing here with my socks, so I think I contaminated that surface slightly with some sweat on my feet. But, oh well. For the most part, everything else turned out really well. Not going to see most of it. You only see the back from about here back. And it's going to go together with the cage really nicely, I think. So, hopefully tonight I'm going to work on getting the cage back in it. And it turned out really well. Very, very happy with the outcome of this thing. Excited to get it back in the car with the car painted and then get some interior panels in there, and man, this thing's gonna look awesome. So that's gonna be what I'm gonna work on today. I'm gonna get the ends of this wire wheeled again so that we can hopefully get it welded back in the car tonight.
Wait.
What?
Why are we taking this off right now?
Why?
Are you going to touch up a little bit?
Who cares?
Okay. What razor blade that 40 in it?
Yeah. It's not gonna be much overspray. It's not like painting it.
Yeah, I suppose like that is going to be covered by.
Painting the whole thing's the main part of it.